I 24 female found out my best friend 24 female had sex with my boyfriend 26 female. I am upset and can't believe it. I don't where to begin. I feel so embarrassed coming here and asking for advice. My boyfriend Steve and I have been dating for over a year and a half. I met him in one of my upper level classes 2 years ago. At the time he was finishing up his degree, before moving on and working on his master's. Since we started talking, seeing each other, and dating casually, I really loved our entire relationship. Steve and I had a lot of similar interests, which included traveling. We did a small trip to South America a couple months ago for a few weeks, Peru and Chile. We had an amazing time. It was once we got back from our trip that I saw our relationship in a whole different way. We traveled well together, and bonded in a new way. I knew I was in a great relationship. I thought we had a great relationship. Until I got some news a few days ago. 3 days ago, I went over to drop a MacBook charger over at my best friend's house. Chanel. Chanel and I have been best friends since we were in high school from the age of 16 years old. I have always considered her to be my number one and closest person in my life. I have noticed that the past 6 months we haven't hang out in the same capacity that we usually have. Both of us have been busy with our lives, school, work, relationships, etc. But I kinda got the feeling after this past year of university around April, that she was starting to drift. She had a shitty relationship with her ex that lasted under a year. He cheated on her with a co-worker. And the rest is history. They broke officially around the end of January. As I went over to drop off her extra charger that she borrowed, I talked with her mom for a bit. Chanel ended up getting called in to pick up an extra serving shift at the restaurant she has worked at during her degree. Her mom wanted to talk to me about a few things. I was puzzled. Chanel's mom was always really outgoing and funny. We had known each other for over 8 years at least. But she wanted to have a serious talk. Chanel's mom, Karen, went on to tell me that she saw Steve and Chanel sneak around the back of the house about a month or so ago. Karen went on to explain that she noticed this happening 2 other times. At first, she thought we were all hanging out, but Karen told me that she got a weird gut feeling on this situation. She told me that I should talk to Steve and Chanel ASAP. Steve and I were supposed to go out for dinner last night. He picked me up, and off we went. I felt really gross and humiliated the entire time we were out. We ate dinner, had a couple drinks, but we didn't talk much. Steve kept asking me all night what was the matter. I told him nothing. Finally, when we got back to my place, we sat in my room and I asked him, and told him what Chanel's mom Karen told me. He didn't answer. In fact, he went pale white. That gave me the answer I needed. I broke down and Steve tried to comfort me. I didn't want him touching me. I didn't even want to hear it. I told him to leave. But I basically had to force him to leave. I tried calling Chanel and texted her that I needed to talk to her. I got no response. Not one. Basically, 2 of the closest people I have had in my life betrayed me. This is so terrible and I feel so shitty. I have like no one right now. Wow. Chanel's mom did you a solid beyond what any normal person would do. She's the hero in this story. But I think that this story might have a very shitty middle. But a happy ending. Dump Steve. And your ex-best friend. These 2 people betrayed your trust and showed their true colors. You will never have self-respect if you let these 2 people stay in your life. You didn't do anything to deserve what happened and you deserved a lot more from both of them. So, in short, start over. This is your chance to find 2 better people in your life. I would personally make sure Steve came and got his stuff. Or, you got your stuff and moved out before Monday. And I would block all contact from him. I would simply never speak to Chanel again and send Karen flowers thanking her for saving you from her daughter in a horrible relationship. I like the idea of sending Karen flowers. She's got to be hurting. 2. I am sure she didn't raise her daughter to be a selfish woman who breaks up someone else's relationship. Because that's what Steve and Chanel are, selfish. They didn't care about what their actions would do to you. They just wanted what they wanted. You can do better. OP. I have a similar story I'd like to share with you to help pick you up a bit. My 23 female boyfriend 23 male of 3 years is using Tinder, claiming to be looking for friends and hangouts. A single friend called me a couple of days ago asking me if I knew that Dave BF was using Tinder. Despite being with me for the last 3 years, and living together and happily planning an engagement. I was distraught, knowing what Tinder is and what it is used for. I was heartbroken. She goes on to tell me that his bio says he's looking to make some new, exciting and fun friends and looking to hang out. Willing to travel a little if there's enough excitement involved. His pictures do not include me, despite 9-10 pictures ever taken of either of us for the last 3 years having the two of us together in them. One of his pictures is him at the beach, shirtless and a tiny man thong. I got him as a joke. He cropped me out of the image. I brought this up to him, and he laughed it off, saying that one, my best friend of 11 years is a nosy bitch, and that two, he's entitled to seek friends and be social, even if it is with complete strangers. Basically, he completely invalidated my points and made me feel guilty for being upset by this, playing it off like I am being possessive. Since then I've avoided bringing it up and just tried to get over it. He hasn't been out and about any more than usual, so it doesn't look like he has any takers yet. But this is just not sitting right with me. I am upset and feeling betrayed, and I don't know how to put my point across without him invalidating it or guilting me. What can I do? Am I in the wrong for not being okay with this? I do not want to throw away 3 years over something that might be me being silly. Seems we are in a very familiar situation. I am feeling a little bit crazy and I need to be talked away from the hypothetical crazy ledge. My boyfriend really likes Facebook. I have had no reason to not trust him 100% with it. He's definitely a like every photo status kind of guy and just thinks that it is fun. I don't have a Facebook, and my presence on his is non-existent besides the mention of fun things we are doing here and there. I realize now that I could easily be mistaken for a friend, sister, cousin, etc. About 3 months ago, I got tipped off from a friend that he had been a little flirty with a girl on Facebook. I did a quick cyberstalk of her and she was gorgeous. And I noticed instead of the typical like he had been loving and wowing her pictures, I called him and told him I felt a little bit crazy. But I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any funny business. He assured me he is just being nice. And they've never met. She is a friend of a friend apparently. And it is no different than me upvoting something on Reddit. They had messaged a few times but it was totally innocent and looks, any flirtations were non-existent. Okay. I dropped it. But my spidey senses told me to bookmark it. Instead of completely discard the thought of her forever. A new movie is coming out tonight. And conveniently our favorite dive bar dinner spot is right across from the movie theater. We just have to walk a few feet or so and there we are. We have both been stoked for his movie. And talking up our date night all week. I was going into a work meeting and texted him, hey, I'll probably be tied up till after 5. So I'll see you at name of place at 7. He texts me back verbatim. To show how weird this was. Hey, is there somewhere else? I don't know what it was. But after a few months of not even thinking of this mysterious Facebook enigma, something shouted at me to look at her profile. Her profile is absolutely 100% open. There is no privacy. She geotagged how excited she was to see the movie and go to the bar. Okay, that is a little convenient. Did a little more digging. He's loved even more of her pictures. Shortly after, he asks if we can just have a night in, which is weird. Because my place is being remodeled and the only access at my house is the bathroom and bedroom. And he just had his fumigated and is staying at his mom's. I am like, where the f*** are we staying in at? I have already bought the movie tickets and I told him that I didn't want them to go to waste, so to please come, we can go eat at another nearby place. I just think this is all awfully convenient. Am I being a total loon-in? Thinking he doesn't want his girlfriend and side piece running into each other at the movie dinner? What is going on with all these boyfriends using dating sites? Mine is also my boyfriend, John. And I have been together for 3 years, living together for almost 1. In my opinion, we've had a really good relationship and I haven't had a reason to not trust him. I've never snooped through a so's phone or computer, as I believe privacy is important and I know I value my own privacy. But this latest incident has me questioning that. So, 3 nights ago John and I were on the couch watching a movie. I was sitting and John was lying with his head on my lap. His phone kept vibrating because he was in the middle of a group message with his family. They were discussing plans about an upcoming trip this summer. We were both reading the messages because I was included. I didn't have my phone by me to read them myself on my phone. John then opened up his email app because he had gotten a notification. The email was from Match.com. John quickly swiped and deleted it. I said, what was that from? And he said, just spam. I then asked, was that from Match.com? He said no. I don't know what it was. It was a blatant lie. I just kind of looked at him, giving him a chance to tell the truth, and he snapped and said it wasn't. Okay. I said okay and went back to watching the movie. He was standoffish and didn't check his phone the rest of the night while I was around. We didn't talk about it anymore. Now, I don't care if John used a dating website before we met. I know that a lot of people build lasting relationships from online dating. What I do care about is if he's still on it paying for the service. I also understand that companies will still send emails after you cancel a service. But why wouldn't he just say that if that's the case? We both know what I saw. So there's no point in denying it. I had gotten over this incident, but last night, I noticed something else. My laptop is a POS and hardly ever works. I'm in the process of shopping around for a new one. Because I'm in the process of finishing up my master's. I've been using John's computer. He told me that I don't have to ask to use it anymore, so when I went to work on some research, it was locked. It's never been locked before. Ever. I called him in and told him that I need to use it and if he could type his password in. He said fine and unlocked it. Cool. Time to work. I didn't ask why he locked it. John literally sat behind for me 15 minutes watching me work. Then, for the next hour and a half, he would walk in every 5-10 minutes and see what I was doing. He never did that before. I told him he was distracting me and he said just seeing what you're up to. I was reading academic articles, like I had told him originally. When we went to bed, I reached for his phone to put on the nightstand. We only have one nightstand and it's on my side. Every night, I take both phones and put them on my nightstand. It's our routine. He walked in and said, "What are you doing with my phone?" I told him I was putting it on the nightstand. I asked him why he's being so weird with me and his things. He said, "Why are you so concerned about what's on my stuff?" I said that I wasn't and that he told me I could use his computer whenever I want. That I didn't go through his phone, I really didn't. That I have no idea why he thinks I'm worried about what's on his things. And that he's being weird since I asked what that email was. He just kind of huffed and went to sleep. No more was said about it. Today, I had PTO scheduled from work. I'm not really proud of this, but I went to see if his computer was locked. It was. So was his iPad, which has never had a passcode on it. I didn't try to crack the codes because what's the point? It's his personal things, but I'm still concerned he's hiding something. So what should I do? I've always trusted him, but his behavior has me worried. Should I ask him again about the email? Could he be embarrassed that he used Match.com? Or is it safe to assume he's still using it or hiding something else? I don't even know if there's a way to see if he's still using it. Hit like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing to our channel.